Welcome again. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Robert Weber, Bob Weber, and I'm an educational strategist for the district, working predominantly with Algebra 1 and geometry. And congratulations, if you're viewing this video, you probably are moving on to Unit 2, which is a positive. So hopefully everything went well. Want to introduce you to what we prepared for you for Unit 2 so that you can start the preparations to help your students and yourself to be successful. So I'm going to share my screen here and take you into, hopefully you will recognize this. This is our Canvas course and Unit 2, the slides. And I will pull those up for you. And of course, put that in a viewing mode that we can view that as a slide deck. Our overviews are fairly quick, and I apologize for that. If you do have more questions, you certainly can contact me, and we'll come out and visit, talk about some of the things that we are doing or advocating for you. Hopefully you saw in Unit 1 that we advocate differentiating instruction. We do advocate utilizing different resources. And so here is Algebra 1, Unit 2. The unit itself is Introduction to Functions. I will take you through it. There are 5 standards in Unit 2. 2 readiness standards, which you know that we have deemed essential readiness standards our number 1 priority. Our second level priority then are readiness standards. They are generally fairly well assessed. In this case, they're domain and range of quadratic and domain and range of linear. But we have deemed them maybe not as vital. I hate to say that. We have deemed them just a standard below our essential readiness. So 2 readiness standards there, A2A, A6A, and 3 supporting standards that go with it. Unpacking the TEKS, again, we have the instructional focus documents and the enhanced TEKS clarification. The TRS guides are heavy for us as far as preparation and trying to match the curriculum that we are trying to establish. A2A, readiness standard, determine the domain and range of a linear function. Again, your concepts that you're going to be teaching are domain range, linear functions, utilizing real-world situations, continuous functions, inequalities, and discrete functions. The skills for students will be to look at n values, of course, and determine the domain and range, or to look at a set of values, depending upon if you're continuous or discrete, being able to write the continuous domain and range using inequalities, and the discrete domain and range by using values or sometimes set notation. So that's A2A. You can see some additional information there as far as breaking down the TEK. A2A was tested 2023. It is one that is heavily tested 11 times in the past 6 years. Again, I have not uploaded 2024 yet, but I will. You can see the second question from A2A that was also assessed. Going on to A6A, the same TEK, only this time we're talking about quadratic functions versus our linear. And again, some additional information on breaking down the TEK. The 2 most recent questions from 2023 as of this date. A9A is a supporting standard. This is the domain and range of our exponential functions, which again, you'll revisit A6A in Unit 6, Unit 7 after the semester break. You'll revisit A9A in the exponential, which I believe is Unit 9, again after the semester break. So it's important that kids understand. It's a concept that we really think domain and range can be taught together. For all functions, you can do domain and range, but you will be revisiting this again. You can see some additional information. A9A 2022 question. A12A, supporting standard, determining if a relation is in fact a function. Vertical line test when you have the graph, repeating x values, those kind of things that you will utilize to decide if a relation is a function. A12A's most recent question from 2022. A12B, evaluating functions given elements from its domain. This is a substitution and simplified type of a process typically. And so you can see 12B. Apologize, it looks a little blurry on that question. Sometimes when you reproduce the questions off of lead forward, it doesn't quite come as clear as you could. Data on this, again, as you might suspect, not a heavy amount of data on the supporting teaks, but you can see A2A. Typically, well, I guess I won't even say that. It kind of tends to be a little bit of an unevenness there. But I will say that A6A is typically not tested particularly well for us, again, because I think we revisit that second semester. So maybe we don't quite give it the fidelity the first semester. But I know a lot of you have said you want to teach domain and range as a concept, which I applaud you for any function, which again I think is a great idea, a great approach. Vocabulary, common misconceptions, some things students will do that you can look for to try and maybe diffuse and get your kids on the right path. Vertical alignment. A2A has a vertical alignment with the 8th grade, 8.5G. Looks like we got double G's there. I'll need to fix that. But identifying function using sets of ordered pairs, tables, maps, and graph. And also back with 6.6A, which is identifying independent and dependent quantities. Again, real consistent with domain and range. 12 days on this unit from September 5th to September 20th. There may be a Q1 checkpoint during the progress of this unit. Instructional strategies we are advocating. Blended instruction for September 19th, a station rotation. If you haven't done that, I would love to come out and lend a hand. Because now we are getting more into the technology piece, hopefully all of your students have their technology, their iPads or whatever they're utilizing, and so you can make use of the Desmos curriculum. And I'll try and maybe highlight that when we talk about that. That might help you to see what I mean. Language support, some of the sentence stems that you might want to use throughout this unit. Yeah, here are a couple of Desmos activities, resources that we're advocating. I'm just going to pull up one just to kind of show you. So clearly you're going to want your students to have their technology piece if at all possible. But Desmos has done a nice job. Oh, it looks like it's making me kind of come back here. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to kill this. There we go. So you can see this particular practice activity has slides accompanying, so the screens are here. It does have a warm-up screen given the equations for f of x and g of x, determine the outputs. This is a preview mode that I'm in as well. But then you can go on, it has a problem, and it asks if there are possible inputs, so you're testing the values. Again, second part of that, continuing with the problem. Now you're selecting domain values and range values. So it is assessing or giving you practice and instruction. The slides are there for your students to use, but a lot of you will say to me, my kids won't use don't bring their technology. You could assign this outside of class. It also has paper resources for you to use. So that's what I like about what Desmos has done now. It's become more of a complete package. I can see that our access to Desmos on the district level has expired. So my apologies that I'm a little bit struggling to get into all of this. But the bottom line here is you have slides that are comprehensive. They have the warm-up, the instructional piece, and the end piece. You have practice problems that you can assign outside of class. You also have paper resources, whether it be lesson guides, student worksheets, notes that you can use with kids. It's become a comprehensive piece. So if you aren't versed in Desmos, I would really advocate that you become versed in that, because it's really become quite a product. And I'm not trying to sell it. I really believe it's a good thing. Okay, let's see. Let me take you out of here. So I'm going to take us back. Continuing the slides here. Whoops. So our intervention and extension activities, you can see we do have some extension here. We don't really have an intervention activity as such. The pacing calendar, this is a unit that's in September pretty heavily with Unit 2. And then, of course, you know us. So if you need some additional assistance, I'm Bob Weber. As I say, LJ is tremendous on materials and resources. Christian is tremendous on instructional pedagogy. So we've got some people that are willing to lend a hand if you need anything else. Thanks for listening. Good luck with Unit 2.